Thanks for clicking on to the Monday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. High pressure remains the dominant player across much of the British Isles at this very moment in time. We have got a northeasterly breeze continuing to keep things rather cool, especially down the North Sea coast, further inland and further west and south of this location. We have got warmer temperatures into the 17 to 18 Celsius range in parts of southwest England, South Wales, up into the Midlands, for example, but only 6, 7, 8 degrees on parts of the east coast. Now, as you can see here, we've still got low pressure to the west of Iberia, another area of low pressure over the central portion of the continent, bringing plenty of unsettled weather and cool conditions as well. As we play through the next several days, what we're going to see is high pressure building southwards here, and of course with high pressure coming from the north, that is going to pull in cooler, fresher air. So what we should start to see is cloud potentially starting to break up. As the dew point comes down, we're going to have less moisture in the atmosphere, and therefore we should, in theory, start to see clear conditions, and that leads to the possibility of overnight frost quite widely, especially away from the urban heat island of towns and cities. And that means that gardeners need to be aware of the potential for damaging frost by night, not just later Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. We could be seeing the ongoing threat of frost over the British Isles, with this area of high pressure centred almost bang slap over the British Isles. Now, as we push towards the weekend, we are going to start to see some slight changes. Got areas of low pressure that are going to try to come in over the top of that area of high pressure, but what is essentially going to happen is that we're going to open the door to colder air coming down from the north here. As you can see here off the GFS ensemble, the area of high pressure not over the UK but actually west of the UK, got area of low pressure over Scandinavia, and yeah, we've got northerly winds coming down over the British Isles as we go into next week here. So a very chilly start to the month of May across the UK and across northwestern portions of Europe. We may see some snow showers. Any accumulation will be over high ground, and again, this isn't anything exceptional. We've seen the coldest May since 1996 last year just, and this is a cold shot, but when you actually factoring in history and years gone by, this is a cold shot and nothing more than that. So I want to emphasize that point as we go forward here. But you can see here the northerly component to the movement of air masses, the movement of highs and lows, generally north to south through the first week of May. So we are going to see the continued threat of wintry precipitation, below normal temperatures, and the threat of overnight frost, especially mid and late this week. If we look at the UK chart, the UK version, we can see here the situation over the British Isles here as we go forward here. So of course we've got the northeasterly flow at the moment, then in comes the area of high pressure as we go towards the middle and second half of the week. With high pressure firmly in charge, we are going to see somewhat clearing of skies. Of course, there's been quite a lot of cloud from the north and the northeast coming in off those cold North Sea waters and kind of lingering, keeping temperatures at bay during the daytime, of course, and then actually keeping them up during the overnight period. But with high pressure moving in, we'll lose the wind, we'll lose the cloud cover, and we'll see the radiational cooling effect taking place here. And as you can see here, through the course of the late week, we've got an area of high pressure centred almost bang slap over the borders. Isobars barely on the chart over the UK, so that means that winds are going to be literally calm over the course of the remainder of this week. Then of course, as we push towards the weekend, we see a system trying to move in from the west. That then gets deflected to the south, and then we start to see the winds coming in from the north here, bringing in the risk of wintry precipitation once again. So amazing, considering the fact that we are in the May, and I know plenty of people will not want to see that by any stretch. Looking at the temperature profile here, the 2 meter temperature anomalies, or should I say the actual air temperature, should I say, as I play through the loop here, you can see here that the temperatures drop off by night time, come back up to kind of double figures pretty much across the board, but during the overnight period, even in towns and cities, it might get close to freezing here. But you see this waxing and waning between cold nights and relatively mild days at this time of the year. And then as we push towards the weekend and into next week, you see the blues starting to reappear, and actually more penetrative frost potential with the shot of cold air coming down from the north here. So that's quite interesting, something certainly we need to keep an eye on, I think, as we go through next week here. We'll wait and see what happens in terms of the intensity of the cold as it comes south. It's going to be quite interesting, because the GFS, this latest run of the GFS, does have a fairly pronounced shot of chilly air coming south next week, and like I say, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how strong that is. Looking at the CFSV2 precipitation, of course, if you haven't already, do check out yesterday's video. I allude to the seemingly the want for drier Aprils in recent years. Certainly 3 out of the last 4 Aprils have been exceptionally dry compared to normal. You have to go back to 2018 was the last time that we've seen a wetter than normal April, which is quite interesting. Really, since 2000, we've seen a downward trend in precipitation during the month of April, which is also interesting. We've also seen increased sunshine during the month of April as well, and there is no real correlation between the warm Atlantic and the cold Atlantic, because even with the warm Atlantic at the moment, which you would often expect to see increased rainfall with warmer waters adding more water vapor to the atmosphere and so on and so forth, we're not necessarily seeing that. Of course, I do believe that the now 3-year La Nina that we've got going is a very likely contributor to the decrease in rainfall over the British Isles during recent times here. So it's something certainly worth continuing to look at as we go forward, and of course as we look towards the summer season as well. It'll be interesting to see what takes place, because the CFSV2, you can see here, actually turns around to a wetter than normal theme next week, and of course with colder air coming down from the north, you increase the potential for shower activity as well as wintry precipitation as well. But then week 3 and then week 4, you see the pattern starting to become drier once again. So there is a real back and forth here in the models, and if you look at the May outlook of the CFSV2, it actually has a wetter than normal May, so it kind of goes against what we've seen, very dry March, very dry April that we've got at the moment, and the fact that we could flip around to a wetter than normal May will be very interesting to see as well. So that's it for today. I do appreciate you watching. As always, please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll hopefully be back again tomorrow with more. Hope you have a great Monday evening. Bye for now.